Hello, hello. Welcome to the latest episode of pdxMindShares, a podcast sponsored by Anvil Media, a digital marketing agency in Portland, Oregon, and we're helping Portland get hired. How is everyone's job search going? We've seen quite an uptrend in resume tips in the internet universe. I guess a lot of you are back on the job search and you're surprised to find that 2021 resumes are very different and the expectations that hiring managers are looking for has changed. So to help all of you out, I wanted to talk to you today about resume tips, how to build the best resume. So this is a step-by-step guide to building the perfect resume in 2021. All right, let's start from the top. The top of your resume, the first thing that hiring managers should see, the first thing that they're looking for is your contact info. It should always be at the top. Your name, phone number. You don't need your full address, but city and state is helpful. And then your LinkedIn profile and a website or portfolio if you're in the creative field. That way they can find all of your writing samples or creative design samples, anything that showcases your work, all in one place. Hiring managers don't have a lot of time to be clicking on a bunch of links and going to a lot of different places to find samples of your work. Now that intro, that first big paragraph, that big chunk, it looks different on every resume. I'm sure you guys have noticed that. And you're wondering, do I need an objective? Do I need a summary? Do I need a profile? Like, what should that first paragraph be? Should I just list a bunch of bullet points of my skills? All fair questions. So that intro paragraph below your name and your contact information, what it should be really depends on where you are in your career. So if you're entry level, you'll want to put your career objective, because right now you're just entering into the professional world and most likely you're looking for something that either will give you experience in your desired career or industry, or you're looking for something very specific in your day-to-day responsibilities that the companies you're applying to offer at entry level. So if you're a recent grad, entry level, new to the industry and the career, you'll use the career objective. If you're at associate level, you'll want to use the summary format, which lists data, accomplishments. You've now worked in industry for 3 years or so. You have accomplishments and achievements. You have work history you can label here with numbers and data. So really pull their eye and list those things. If you are mid-level, if you have 5 to 7 years or maybe a little more than that, you want a profile. So your qualifications. I'm sure you've gotten certain certifications, certain activities, maybe published on certain publications, any kind of qualifications that fit this role. You'll also want to list your skills. And then a qualifications summary for executive level applicants. These list your most impressive abilities and accomplishments. And the reason why I point out most impressive, if you're at executive level, you've been in the industry for 15, 20 years. So you have a lot of history. You have a lot of information you can put in there, but we want it to be a very short paragraph, 3 or 4 lines maybe. So just focus on the most impressive abilities and accomplishments that you have to just blow them out of the water. All right, now let's go down to the most important part of a resume, your experience. And how you label this is totally up to you. Professional, relevant, it really depends on the job responsibilities and what they're looking for and how you phrase that. So you'll want to keep these very easy to read. No paragraphs on this one, just bullet points. But your bullet points of your responsibilities for each role should be what's called achievement focused. So they should be sentences that talk about what you did and what was the outcome. What was the achievement? What great things did you accomplish by doing your job? So you give them all the information that they need in just a few short lines. What you did, they want to know that you can do the job, and what you accomplished. They want to know that you can do the job well. All right, education. Ooh, it's a tough one because I have a lot of people that come to me and tell me after they've had 5 years experience that they still put a lot of focus on their education on their resume. You don't have to. Not if you have that much experience. You want your education on your resume to represent where you're at an experience level. So recent grads should emphasize the education. They should emphasize their accomplishments, their extracurricular activities, anything that can explain how they know they can do this job because they do have that experience unpaid or maybe for school credit, or maybe it was a paid volunteer experience, but some kind of experience through school that is relevant to what this job is asking them to do in their daily responsibilities. And if they're a recent grad, they don't have much experience outside of school. So that's kind of all you have to fill up your resume. So there's going to be a lot of emphasis there. And that includes accomplishments. So if you made the dean's list, if you were a leader of some kind of club, those come with skills that should be labeled. But if you're a mid-level or exec level, you should only put the degree you earned, bachelor's, master's, doctorate, and from what school, so they know what institution should come up on your background check. That's for full transparency, but also a lot of these jobs have a certain degree requirement. So this just lets them know the only information they need to know. Do you have the degree earned that they're looking for? That's it. And lastly, after education, a lot of you do have extra information. Some of you end your resume there, but a lot of you have certain things like technical proficiencies, publications, extra info that is impressive, that you feel is helpful to show off your skill set, but you're not sure if it really fits in those other categories. Well, you're right. It should go at the very end after education. And this is the section where you want to list anything that's related to the job and the industry. That can change depending on what you're applying for. So you could list licenses and certifications if it's something in the digital or tech field. Those things are going to be most important to the hiring manager. In the creative field, any notable publications that are your work or about your work, you'll want to list those. Any professional affiliations or memberships, there's a lot of different industries that look for this, but the two that I can think of off the top of my head are marketing and healthcare if you're a doctor, if you're on some kind of board, or if you're a nurse or an X-ray technician. Those memberships in the healthcare field are very important, and that's something that the hiring manager will look for. It shows that you're staying on top of what's happening in an ever-evolving industry. Marketing and science both move very quickly. Being a part of a community that stays up to date on those things, that's something a hiring manager is going to look for. And then lastly, any awards or recognition that you've received. Again, for executives who have been in this industry for a long time, you've built up probably a lot of awards, recognition of some kind for doing your job well. So let them know that your 20 years hasn't been spent just doing your job, doing the bare minimum, that you've been recognized for the great work that you do. If you have any more questions about how your resume should look, or about your LinkedIn profile, or any other materials that you're refining as you're job searching, feel free to contact us. You can DM us on any of the socials. You can also drop a comment in this video. We always respond. Until next time, good luck job searching.